I was the first J.
Yeah. I could feel it in the emphasis on the J.
Yeah, he looked at me when he said J.
He did.
I don't know, but we're also staying really close to each other. But he looked up, so I knew it was me. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen,
look up.
what's up?
Sorry?
We're going into the grand finals here of Echo Combat's Blerst from EU up against VRespawn from NA, one of the few European teams we have left in the entirety of this tournament as we get underway with our Championship Sunday. Now, Kaznaz. We saw him before in the Comet. Not going to be going that route this time, going for the Meteor. So the 2-2 for VRespawn. And Blerst going for the 3-1. So 9, triple Meteors 8, and 1 7, Nova. But they also 6, do have the stun
5,
field picked up here 4, for Lego. So it looks like they're trying to get really aggressive up against VRespawn here and catch them.
Well, we're into it, Jason. It all comes down to this grand final. It does get kicked off.
Oh, sorry,
straight onto that
my
Flamingo.
bad. Vidman does have a Comet. So maybe I misread when I was looking at it really quickly. So he does have a Comet, and they have 1 Meteor and 2 Novas. So now that allows VRespawn to get some chip damage in from range. However, if Blerst collapse and use their movement speed that they get from playing Echo Arena so much, they can completely catch VRespawn off guard.
Well, you got this free player split on the side over towards the left area, just floating by the island, and one man just waiting to hit with a strike. That's Vex, who was going huge into our games earlier on. Today, the convergence is incredible so far. Vex opens it up. Cod's worthless with 2. Kaznaz to close it out. That was pretty damn flawless.
Not sure why Lego was so far back with the Nova and the stun field. They basically need him to maybe mispicked. They kind of needed him a little bit closer to make the stun field work. And of course, the Nova, you have to be close, but either way, he switched over to the detonator, so maybe it was a misplay in the end of things. But still going to be sitting with the Nova. They're actually going quad Novas here, so Blerst, they have to get up close and personal. Vidman has so much range to play from, as long as he doesn't get collapsed on, but the problem is the collapse has come through, and VRespawn will be cleaned up here ideally, unless Vex can somehow survive 1v2. The Payload's going to continue to be pushed in. You can see now Boop trying to come in to close out the elimination. He does get the Vex, but now he's low on health. The Payload has been halted, and there is a chance for VRespawn here to have a chance to contest.
It was fairly delayed when Vex actually went down there compared to Lone Gecko dying, so that trade wasn't too fickle fast. The instant response back as they need to try and hold it now, contesting it just before the checkpoint as everyone is swarming into this, just diving in as soon as they can. It is looking good for the side of Blerst. They have the advantage. They can tap back onto it and get that payload moving, Jason. It just depends on this delay tactic from Vex.
Yeah, he was trying to, but he will be cleaned up eventually by Boop. I'm wondering with the quad Novas, like VRespawn have every opportunity to fight from range. The problem is Blerst isn't going to let them get that range they need to play from. And you have Vidman with a Comet. He immediately got jumped on him. This is what we're talking about before, right? Kaz had the Comet when it was a VRespawn versus Gravity. But Gravity weren't as agile as Blerst play. So he had all the time in the world to hit shots. Now with a lot of pressure coming his way to Blerst, he might have to rethink a strategy, maybe get rid of the Comet, maybe go over to phase shift. But he's definitely going to have to adapt as this entire series goes on. Because when we move into the capture point maps with Dyson and Combustion, I feel like he's going to have a very tough time hitting shots.
Delivery accelerated.
You cannot have those mistakes at this point. They're getting that movement going, getting close towards the second checkpoint now. They are weighted, posted up in position, just lying there as they do get ready to kick this one off. God's Worthless goes in first. They're doing a ton of damage. It's actually a pretty clean one so far. It's only nearly what the remains. He's on the site, darting around. Tries to at least get them some more movement. And that is still going to be the wipeout there as Blerst go down.
Oh, we saw us out of VRespawn before. They have the Arc Mines out of Vidman trying to set things up. Sorry, no, Kaznaz, my bad. Trying to set things up to apply some extra damage because the Payload is halted right here. So they're eventually going to have to get to this position. But they come swarming back in. The Arc Mines going off. A lot of damage being done. And Boop immediately being bursted down. However, look at the health bars that are VRespawn. They've been dropped extremely low. And they're being converted into kills. The problem is it's not quick enough. And Blerst will be wiped out. And VRespawn will hold again.
It's the firefights for the most part. It actually looks like they're excelling way better. I feel like some of it can be actually attributed to Vex as well. With the backstabs he's been getting off, he's kept people really weak when they actually do get into the full frontal assault. Going back into it once again, though, just as they all regroup. It's the 4-on-4.
Blerst likes to just blast off constantly. Always fight non-stop. But they have to be smart about these decisions. They're losing a lot of time here. They did get 2 eliminations. Boop is going to be pretty much last alive, I believe. Not actually Lone Gecko who's going to be cleaned up. The Payload now retreating away from that checkpoint they need to hit. And also retreating as the time left. 1:28 left to go on the board. And Blerst still need to get the second checkpoint.
It's been a fairly effective delay this whole time for VRespawn. They're making good work of it, Jason. They look to try and keep it going as well. Straight back in, though. Boop, instantly with a full frontal attack, finds the opener. This could actually work out.
The thing is, like, as Jersey was saying, like, they'll do the same attack 10 times. It doesn't matter. They'll lose 15 fights in a in a map and not care. It's just about that one time it works for them, and then the like momentum they can build off of that. They finally win a fight here. The Payload has fallen very far back, so it allows VRespawn a chance to contest. Vidman has switched away, by the way, from the Comet over to the Meteor, so it's going to be the 2-2 finally coming into effect for them. And Blerst as well has switched things up, putting Nillywick over onto the Meteor, but that looks like they're going to be cleaned up yet again. So the back-to-back fights they have been doing, yes, they finally won one after losing two, but they didn't even get the Payload back to where it originally was off the first pushes.
It's also the connections they're getting off. Everyone at VRespawn is just decimating in terms of their overall damage numbers, definitely posting some large stats from what we saw from Boop earlier on today. He was actually
this tunnel. They finally get out. They've actually spread out decently, but look at the damage they're taking. Like, Boop is immediately killed.
Yeah.
Like, they need to maybe come from a couple different angles. This, like, bombarding the point is not working out. This is basically the last attack for them. You can see them trying to heal up as much as they possibly can, but the numbers are too overwhelming as VRespawn will pull off a hold.
It's going to be them locking it down.
that is the best.
Oh, that's amazing.
That just won, I think, for me, the $100 right there.
Was that the new champion?
Going down the tunnel, hands up, swinging around, Boop doing Boop things. The Boop dance.
The Boop dance. He's booped it. Well, in the end, it's going to
Can
be
we get a
them taking
replay
it
of
through.
just that, like a slow motion replay of him just going down the tunnel?
I don't know what that was.
He's like pulling like Die Hard off. You know, he's got the guns taped to his back, just coming down. John McClane spinning around. That was great. That was fantastic. See, I mean, he knew there was no chance they can contest that anymore. So there we go. Here we go. Let's watch this in slow motion when he comes down the tunnel, hands up, friendly, help. Look how far he gets too. That's the best part of it. Good stuff.
He got some distance on that.
See, that's the great thing about VR esports compared to traditional esports is that you get these great like celebrations and the ability to see them like do things with their hands. We've had like an Onward Steven from Animal House from last year like to do the Macarena. He liked to like throw his guns up and juggle and all these great stuff. Good stuff to see out of Blerst. But the problem is that was not the distance they wanted.
10, 9.
No, indeed. And this is where more needs to be done. Straight back into a Blerst, flipping things around as they now have to try and defend against these hungering men. The VRespawn side, as we get straight back into it. Nillywick the opening
careful.
shot.
That double Comet for
Bit of a tag off there.
Yeah, but like ec.lip.se got dropped low. Ooh, okay. Nice little play there. Actually, well, long-range detonator I think came in from ec.lip.se taking on Codsworthless. You just have to worry about these double Comets. Like, Blerst have to fight and cover. So like Blerst have to play like defensively, where they have to draw in VRespawn to actually push too far out and hide and force them to hide behind stuff that they can use for cover, for at least Blerst's side, so they don't get taken down by these Comets.
Kazna's doing a very effective job actually getting these beautiful charge shots off whilst pushing. I mean, he was up until then, but at least they've been able to swarm in, work as a pack, and overthrow. You've got the 3 men up in the front doing the ton of damage. They're now going to be able to double back, get the extra speed up on the payload, push it as far as possible, Jason.
We saw VRespawn use this setup against Gravity on Payload earlier on, and they like to push the double Comets. I think they actually push one Comet up aggressively to look for a shot. There should be no way that Blerst can contest this one. There we go. The tech point will be hit. VRespawn actually will be punished with Vex pushed up. But again, I feel like, if anything, if this attack does not work out for them, they'll just switch over to double Nova, double Meteor anyways.
At least been able to put some kind of a stamp onto this one. First checkpoint has been claimed at least.
Kazas has switched over after his death.
Payload mobilized.
Vidman has not fallen, so I would imagine he'll be going for the same kind of route if he does die here. But they have so much time to work with, like 4 minutes, Jack.
Yeah.
4 minutes to just basically complete the second checkpoint. One missed fight for Blerst can cost them this map, and it might have happened just now. ec.lip.se is going to fall. VRespawn have 3 players left alive. This Payload's going to push forward. They're actually going to send Vex aggressively to sneak up ahead of them. There's no threat scanner to see where he's going to be, so he can hide and do so much damage with the Nova.
Yeah.
If he even needs to. The Payload's still going.
This looks like it's pretty much going to be done already, but before they even get back there at this rate, they're so close. It's literally a matter of seconds between this Boop goes in, he's instantly done for, they're all entering one by one, there's not much they can do, and they're going to be able to hit that second checkpoint, and that is the pickup, the first map being claimed pretty damn quickly.
So, I mean, to be fair, Jersey did say VRespawn are very, very strong when it comes to payload maps.
Yep.
So if we're to look at this one, you know, unbiased, VRespawn should be able to win when it comes to this map.
Yeah.
Things get interesting though, is that we obviously need to see now Blerst win these next 2 maps. They won't have a chance because by the time we get to the 4th map, it's going to be payload again. So if they give up a map on control, that'd be a 2-1 in favor of VRespawn, going back onto a payload for match point, for tournament point. So winning these next two is going to be super important for Blerst to have a chance in the series, I think.
That's why I was thinking it's probably going to more go towards, you know, the 3-1, with them losing this first map, Blerst then being able to pick it back up, but it just depends on, as you said, getting back into it with that next payload map. That's where they're going to have the availability to try and make something work out of it, as we do look back through our highlights here from the series.
Well, luckily for us, Jersey to be rejoining us again here after that first map, and you know, looking at how that went, I liked VRespawn's choice. Like, they switched things up. They were showing willingness to play different weapons.
And they looked like as well, VRespawn had a setup for every single stage of the map. They looked like they had an intentional setup. I mean, you can see the kind of forward pushes they had when they won the fights and they had a man spare. You can see, basically, it seemed to be very well thought out. Each part of this map, they had a game plan, they played to it, and Blerst kind of threw themselves at it as they
Sorry,
usually
here it comes again.
Yeah.
It's the blender move. It's great.
Oh, Boop having a great time as well. I mean, yeah, as you say, that was the point was kind of gone at that point. Oh, it was 4v1.
No time left, yeah.
No time left as well, so you wouldn't have even got to the payload if you flown straight to it. So, but yeah, I mean, Blerst did an almost great hold on the upper tunnels as well, which is something they actually did very effectively against Gravity. But you could see VRespawn immediately switching over to the Meteor and more Novas to try and deal with that. But keeping Vidman on the Comet, obviously he didn't die at the time, so there was no need for him to, or he couldn't switch physically. So he basically played that out from the back, and yeah, really VRespawn just playing it to a T so far. I mean, you can't really complain about anything they've done.
Yeah, really enjoying seeing that, actually. But again, now the pressure comes, and looking into this really quickly, Jersey, while we have for a few more seconds before Dyson kicks off, do you kind of agree that if Blerst want to win this series, they have to win these two maps? Okay, well, thank you very much, Jersey. We'll be getting back to you after this map as Jackie and I take us underway now with Dyson with a 1-0 lead here for VRespawn in the grand finals, the VRL Season 3 finals here in Leicester in the UK. Sunny today, and hopefully sunny for one of these two teams as they're looking to take home the trophy and all that money.
Yeah, with a bright smile on their faces as we're about to get back in the action. Small bit of fireworks there to kick us off, Jason. Blerst was so aggressive, as per usual, the last time we saw him here on Dyson. If that is going to be their key to victory, they need to come in thick and fast to kick this one off.
So Kaznaz is doing what Strembitsky did. He was playing from the northern side of the map, trying to play on the outsides to shoot them when they come in. I wonder, though, with them taking the point now, I'm imagining they're going to hold off the point. But then Blerst can just do what they've done previously against Gravity, if we look back to the playoffs, to just dive onto the point and hold from there. I wonder, though, if Kaznaz will be able to adapt like his position, maybe adapt his play style here to be effective. And look where he is again. He's towards the northern side. He's waiting for them to come in. He's looking for a couple of pot shots, but it's very hard to hit them when they move so fast across the arena. And of course, I say that Boop immediately going to be eliminated here.
Yeah, it depends on his actual teammates towards the site as well, because if they're crumbling first, he's going to be able to do too much damage from behind. He's going to have to intro in.
It's a good fight, though. They take down two. So, like, they're going to have the respawn advantage coming back in if they keep the last players alive. Ooh. I think, though, ec.lip.se is going to be a little bit too deep here, so that two-man advantage they did have is going to be worthless unless they send the two players back in, which I think, yeah, Boop's been able to get there, and he's actually going to look to capture the point.
That was very staggered, though, in the position we've now been left in. A little bit awkward from Nillywick on the actual the off shots to try and take down the last man. They have still got the site. It hasn't been taken at any point. VRespawn now nearly at 50% already. From the fights we've had, it looks like there was opportunities there for Blerst.
They did. I think when they exchanged 2 for 2, they should have had the other two players back off and then regroup. Let's see, Kaznaz looking for some shots. He's going to catch Lone Gecko, but he's going to be healed up over time. Gets another shot taken off, and the health bar is just jumping up and down for Blerst. But it looks like it's working out for them. Kaznaz now forced to go on top of the point. Again, this is exactly what happened against Kangarillas. Bursts are so quick to dive into the rest of your team that even if you're sniping with a Comet, you just don't have time. You don't have time to get kills from there. Your entire team falls before you have a chance to really be effective.
Well, it's literally the same angle that we saw Strembitsky utilizing as well. So it's just stat behind, you go for the slow bob up, try and do the damage from behind as your teammates just fight them on the point, but they're just simply being overwhelmed. And they can't win these firefights.
Question for them is, do they switch Kaznaz off this now? Do they switch him back over to a Meteor or over to a Nova? Do they want to fight Blerst in the way Blerst want to fight? And that's going to be tough to do when Blerst have been doing this all season, but it looks like they've opened things up here. Vex gets himself a double, but quickly, just like that, Blerst going to trade 2 back for themselves. The point going to be contested in the meantime here, as there's still a battle breaking out between these two teams. It looks like it's going to favor the side of VRespawn as ec.lip.se is going to fall. And last pair left alive, it's going to be Lone Gecko, who's just trying to stall for some time, but he's not leveraged. There's no way he can do just that. And VRespawn now are basically on their final fight here for the first round.
It might not matter about adapting their strategy if Vex can carry on just ripping his way for everyone so easily, as he's just been chunking them down each and every time. At this point, they're left in a very awkward fight. On the re-entry, they don't even get a chance to go in with all four. As Kaznaz makes quick work of Lone Gecko, Vex straight back into the fold. Jason, this is just awful.
Yeah, this should be it. That should be VRespawn taking the first round. And now my question comes, with Kaznaz hitting that first shot, like he killed Lone Gecko before he had a chance to fight. So immediately they had a 4-on-3, right?
Yeah, done.
Was Strambitsky, was it accuracy? That was the difference between him and Strambitsky? Or was Strambitsky not going for shots like that? I actually don't know, trying to think back to it, if Strambitsky was looking for open shots out of the tunnel.
It genuinely feels like the difference is there, that he's actually taken an aggressive angle, tried to make the play.
Phase shift as well. Strambitsky wasn't using phase shift on Dyson.
And that was the change around as well, because the entire time Strambitsky was just utilizing defensive angles and literally trying to play to do damage to assist his team, right? Whereas we didn't really see him do what we saw a couple of times online, where he would take the offensive angles. He'd be the one trying to make a play.
Also, maybe he's told his team, like, guys, you need to stay alive. Like, you need to disengage from fights the best you can to allow me to be effective.
To give him breathing room, really, to do what he's doing.
Exactly, because if you lose your team and you're by yourself with the Comet, well, you're not really going to do much. Like, you're not really going to be able to come back on that fight. So maybe that's something that they've done. Maybe they've adapted to. Getting a little bit worried for Blerst, though, but my prediction is getting a little bit closer to fruition here for VRespawn. Not to toot my own horn or anything. But now Blerst is going to be coming out once they do see the positions of VRespawn, since you can see it back in your own spawn of where they are. And look, Kaznaz again pushed up, so has a phase shift.
Point unlocking in.
If he hits a shot as they come out of tunnel, like you just pretty much give up the first fight. This is going to be super important. Can we go to Kaznaz's point of view? Because this is going to be the most important part, if he can hit these shots. Now looks like he connected onto Idolego, got him down about half HP. Again, forced him to heal, gets connected onto another shot. Kaznaz, no pressure coming his way. Lone Gecko's going to fall. And Kaznaz is given an opportunity to hit shots. And just like that, look at that. He connects onto Idolego again. He's getting him so low health that his teammates are there to clean up the rest of it. He's able to finally get the close on Idolego when he already got him low before. Now he's up basically in a 1v1 here against Nillywick.
The awkward part is, though, close range like that, he couldn't quite hit the shots too easily.
But they have respawn advantage.
Yeah.
So, not too big of a deal for them. Nillywick has fallen, and they have all four players jumping right back onto the points. Kaznaz eventually going to die. It looks like Blerst is going to be able to equalize things, but not necessarily quick enough, as they're still losing men left and right.
No, fairly equal trades at this point. Codsworthless trying to be the one to make the big play. Takes down Boop. Idlego's down and out. Nillywick hoping to actually hold on. And he's been able to completely turn things on his head now.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Blerst dive into Kaznaz. Actually, no, sorry. Not anymore, because he's using the Meteor. When he was using the Comet, dive into him, force that phase shift out, and then just wait. Either he retreats back to his team, and then you have a fight in the exact way you want to, up close and personal, or he doesn't, and then you kill him, and then you fight 4v3. I would have liked to kind of seen that strategy, but now VRespawn have adapted, switching to a Meteor, looking for more upfront burst damage.
See if they'll be able to fight fire with fire, and that strategy will actually help them out at this point. Kaznaz up in the rafters, doving around, trying to get the actual shot off. Ooh, a near miss on the way out. It does mean they're going to be left in an awkward position. Lego just on his own, waiting for his teammates to return.
Blerst triple novas.
Oh, look at the damage from that.
Meteors do some serious work, honestly, and if you're able to connect on the multiple people, like, they just have no potential for a fight. Not coming in from behind. The Nova, Codsworthless, looks like they should be able to get these final eliminations they need to maintain the point, and more importantly, overtake Blerst in percent. They're now 60% away from going up 2-0 in the series.
Kaznaz basically single-handedly, where the opening damage has put them down to like 15% HP as they're coming out.
That's the punishment. With them coming out like this from the same spot, they're all being left susceptible to taking heavy damage. Now the second shot's going to connect. Doesn't hit too much, but it still does damage nonetheless.
Softens them up a little bit, makes them a bit more supple for the attack. Look
in.
at the ton of damage done, though. Everyone just being torn to shreds, Jason. There's going to be nothing left at this point. Just dust on the site if this is the way it carries on. They've regained control again. They're going to have 70%.
It's so much easier to fight from the outside to in than inside to out, because the Meteors have so much more terrain to hit to explode. The Novas as well give you, I mean, you can just dodge a lot of shots and you can peekaboo with it. So Blerst, like, yeah, they can get onto the point, but they can't maintain after. Look how spread out VRespawn play, and then they collapse on the point whenever Blerst gets in there.
That's why playing offside the point is actually super effective on a map like this, and it works so nicely for them, and all the fights go their way as well, which is an added blessing. 90%. It's do or die, Jason. This could be it.
I love this. The use of phase shift out of Kaznaz. He's being allowed to play so aggressive here that if they go for him, he can just stall for time. And time is not left here. 99%. They're trying to get a player on top of the point, and they won't be able to. VRespawn are now one map away for being your finalists, for being your champions here. The VRL Season 3 Echo Combat Season.
It's madness. They're just crushing their way through, showing no signs of slowing down. It might have looked like potentially it was a, you know, just a one-off with how they dismantled their opposition before, but not again.
Should they be called like V don't need to respawn? Because they're not losing fights that often. They're really not. They're working so well together. They know how to deal with this style at a Blerst, and they've come prepared.
Yeah. It's really the adaptation as well. This is the first time we've actually sort of seen a team quickly adapt on the fly when it came down to the strategy they were running, which was similar to the Strambitsky style of play. They sniffed it out, they realized what it was, but this time they actually switched it up.
I think he was being more aggressive than Strambitsky. With the phase shift 100%, he was allowed to like push up with the Comet or push up the Meteor, look for early damage, and then retreat if they ever attacked him. And I think that's why Blerst just gave up trying to fight him right off the bat. They're like, well, there's no point because you're just going to phase shift away.
Especially the spawn shots on the way out, the sheer amount of damage that was actually doing is completely ridiculous when you think about it. The fights they were going into, they're always on the back foot.
So Tim, Jersey, how does it feel? I mean, technically you could say you lost to the champions if VRespawn win this next map.
Yes, that would always be nice.
But no, what was your thoughts on Dyson?
I just think, honestly, VRespawn is just showing up. Like, okay, right, so we're talking about coming into this map and how VRespawn would need to adapt to Blerst. That is how you do it, right? They basically cast an open net, kept their players wide separated, and as soon as Blerst came in, they neutralized that damage, the damage that they could do from that. They almost always lost a player. I don't know if you noticed, but every single fight time Blerst successfully got all the way through in like a perfect situation, they would only ever take one member of VRespawn out, but the others would always have capitalized on that and wrapped around them and done damage basically for free before anything mattered. So yeah, that was the situation. I mean, they just played it perfectly.
I like the adaptation as well from a Comet over to the Meteor.
That was great. Honestly, I think
the damage he did on like them coming out of spawn was insane.
I was a bit worried because I thought he was doing so much great stuff in on the Comet, but then yeah, he switched over to Meteor, did just as good a job. Okay, well, Jersey will be looking to get back to after potentially our final map of the series if VRespawn can continue to play like this. And Jack, we do see the Comet picked up for Vidman. It's cool to see them be able to adapt it to different players with Vidman and Kaznaz together. And then, of course, the two Novas and a Meteor behind that.
Yeah, the whole team functions like a well-oiled machine right now. They have just been heads and tails above the competition. And I don't feel like that's going to stop. It's been looking absolutely spectacular, Jason. They're waiting now. Potentially, as you said, to actually just lock it down and take it in a 3-0, which would be a pretty big feat.
We also have a threat scanner for Vidman. He's going to pop that one off right now as Blerst going to be looking to barrel out of the tunnels. I think maybe they're going to give the initial control over to VRespawn and then attack after that. They just have the triple Nova, so again, they have to get really up close and personal here to make these fights work. They have to be very careful about their boosting. And here we go, attacking from kind of two different angles here. But again, ec.lip.se is going to fall right off the bat, and VRespawn, yeah, they're taking a lot of damage, but they're slowly healing it up over time.
Well, bit of a scrap towards the point. Vex doing what he does best, it seems, as he's still continuously hitting these shots. They're going to try and chase down the last man there and not allow him to get away, as they will converge and do some damage. VRespawn, 20% already and a clean wipe.
The best part was seeing Vidman hold the Comet like this. You know, you can't see me on camera, but you know what I'm doing.
A little gangster pose.
Yeah, so VRespawn now 30% and counting. Blerst, they need some sort of answer, and they've really not tried to adapt their strategy at all. I mean, yeah, we have the 3 Novas instead of the 2, but it just seems to be like insanity. Like, what's the definition? Doing the same thing over and over again, expect a different result, and the different result is not coming.
It's really not. And Vex, though, still continuously proving he could do this round in, round out. He is not stopping. Somehow he's just a one-man army. It's absolute madness.
Well, now VRespawn, they did lose Cause Worthless, as Jersey was mentioned before, losing one player on these attacks, but he's going to be able to get back here in time for the respawn. I feel like the focus needs to come into someone else. Maybe take down Vex, maybe take down Kaznaz. Like, these are two players that have really started to stand out in terms of the kill feed. And now here we go, next attack coming through. It's a little bit disjointed out. Two players going up a little bit earlier on than the last two, but they've been able to survive for a decent amount of time here, and they've been able to finally get the first kill in this skirmish. They're actually able to get a second off the back of that, but can they continue the reign as Lone Gecko's going to fall, and ec.lip.se, well, not much he can do here by himself, and it looks like VRespawn will take this first round.
Yeah, it seems like it. Unless there can be a bit of a nuisance play coming through from ec.lip.se, trying to get the point, they are just going to concede it over.
Okay.
There's no point, you know, rushing into that, really. You can allow them to get the point control and then retake.
Yeah, Kaznaz has to get out here. I don't know why it took him so long to retreat. Maybe it's just cockiness, maybe confidence. They're like, yeah, or, you know, I'm going to try to make a play. Because they're still going to have the respawns back in, and they're going to be able to regroup. They have 86%. They need to win one fight, pretty much.
Yeah, it's literally that to win. At that point, Blerst just wouldn't have the time to come back on, so you can see why he would have been willing to concede it. Vex tries to get involved with the action. Only goes 1-for-1 as Idlego take him down. Idlego actually getting a bit fired up now. Codsworthless is done. At this point, you've got 30%. You can keep on ticking with that. Maybe Blerst are getting into the fold, Jace.
Well, they're going to have to. And the problem for them is if they do win this map, they have to then win on Payload. And they did not look that strong up against VRespawn earlier on today. So they've got a massive hill to climb. But hey, if they were to come back and reverse sweep after they did it up against Kangarillas, this would be the perfect time to do it yet again. And what a story it would be if they can somehow go for this route. But the problem is they're being attacked from different angles again. A lot of explosive damage being done. Boop already finished off. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange, but we're not going to see VRespawn get on top of the point.
Oh, the movement as well coming through from Codsworthless, just leaping all over the place as he's making himself such an obtuse target to actually hit. They are struggling though as they're beginning to fall and buckle under the pressure. Blerst, they can get the advantage here.
Yeah, they should be able to take the lead. Vex is going to have to wait for the respawns to come back in before they can contest. This is basically the last fight now for both teams. Whoever wins this fight is going to win this round. 100%. We're going to see VRespawn actually get rid of the Meteor. Kaz switched over to the Nova, so we have Triple Nova and a Comet for Vidman, which I don't think we've seen too much out of Vidman so far in this round alone, at least, but it's going to be favoring the side of VRespawn. It's going to be a 2-for-2 exchange now. Going to be the last one alive here, trying to stall for time, but he gets a hell of a chunk of damage done to him. He'll be eliminated as they're at 98%, and now it's going to come down to the last skirmish. Can they potentially get back here in time as the points are ticking up, and VRespawn will take the first round.
Oh, they're going to get it as well. 98%. Blerst, they're going to be kicking themselves off the back of that one. It could have been their round one secured, put them in a position to try and come back from that. Instead, they're literally 1 round away, Jason, from taking the whole thing.
Well, the pressure's going to start to mount here for Blerst. You can see VRespawn smiles on their faces, realizing, like you said, 1 round separating them and $20,000. Let's see if they can pull it off here. And I mean, to be fair to Blerst, they looked much better there on Combustion than they have in the past. But looking better isn't going to win you rounds. It isn't going to win you maps necessarily.
No, but this championship round here for VRespawn definitely will win you the entire tournament if they're able to take it now. It really will mean everything to them going into this one. Blerst, if they got any last bit of momentum, they can try and bring out some pizzazz, as they do need something. Delving straight back into this one.
Well, Blerst have adapted, though. Double Meteor now. And we still see what VRespawn used lastly with the Triple Novas and the Comet. Comet going to be in the hands of Vidman. Number 32, he's actually sitting on the point. And he's going on the point for a split second. It's getting immediately crashed on. It's eliminated as quick as he possibly could. But so far, it's actually a pretty much equal trade here. It's going to be Nillywick, I think, by himself. And he's actually able to pull it off. I thought he had one more player there to worry about it. But he takes down Kaz as he captures the point by himself. And he's like, guys, where are you at, team? He's going to have to back away, though. Respawn advantage in favor of VRespawn.
Is he going to hold his ground? It depends if they actually get there in time. It could be a bit of a stalemate in favor of Blerst, but actually, it's not gone too well. They lose the first man. Nillywick is down and out. They have to try and continue from this. Whoever gets the next pick is going to be in a position to actually take it. Codsworthless doing the majority of the damage. Kaznaz as well, straight smashing his way through Idlego. And VRespawn, they retake control of the situation.
What's crazy about that is something we talked about like way earlier today. Because Blerst are Echo Arena players as well, they have superior movement.
Oh, yeah.
They technically should never have had a man advantage or even equal footing when it came to that point because VRespawn had their respawns faster. But because of their superior movement, movability, maneuverability, there we go. They're actually able to equalize and keep it pretty even Stevens between the two teams. But even Stevens is not what we're going to see in this fight, as it looks like Blerst is going to be almost cleanly swept. Codsworthless is going to be the only one to fall. And VRespawn now are chugging away. 60% to go, separating them from the trophy.
It feels like, what can you do against Kaznaz and Vex? Every time they come towards the point, it's just literally them just decimating everyone in front of them. Codsworthless provides such a hard target to hit with the movement that he's been busting out. Vidman, with the constant support that's been there, they would need a miracle on the side of Blerst right now. We're nearly at 70% for VRespawn as they battle back into it. Kaznaz already kicks it off. Vidman's had enough. Boop has been busted. This is not looking good, Jason.
At least Blerst were fighting on top of the point when that happened, so VRespawn were continuing to build up percent during that skirmish, but it's basically the final bout here for Blerst. This is their last chance to keep their hopes alive here in the finals of Echo Combat. for Season 3 of the VRL. Let's see them come out of spawn. They have to contest this one. 10% left to go. They have to send someone to this point to contest it, and they're going to come in a full 3 up against the 3 players to defend out of VRespawn.
All over the site as they barred their way in. The airstrikes come through. It's an absolute bloodbath, but it's going in favor of VRespawn as they're slaughtering their way through everyone. They're going to be able to take it. They get the second round. They get the third map. And not only that, Jason, they get the trophy. VRespawn have locked it down. They are your champions.